And welcome to sunny San Marino. It's a beautiful day to kick off Chapter 16 in the 2025 MotoGP World Championship. November, we're about to go globetrotting, aren't we, in MotoGP? So the title race rolls on into round 17 at least in Japan. But once again, Barcelona as performance in qualifying, take pole position. What a bruttery in the sprint, just 6 days ago. Full new era, as we are about to see for the very first time, Augusto Fernandez. But the Prosecco is on ice. Gez does get the job done in 2025, and he is back on top of the MotoGP World Championship as world champion. Matt Burtler is still be in the commentary box for Jack Appleyard down in what is, I'm sure, already a blazing hot pit lane. These are the maths. Mark will have a title chance at the Japanese Grand Prix if he has an advantage of 148 points or more. At the end of this weekend's action, Alex had that upper hand of 1 or 2 tenths. We saw how strong he was in those final couple of sectors, and it was an important victory, as Alex told me in the pre-event press conference yesterday. His form had just taken a bit of a dip after what was an outstanding opening half for 2025. Of course, he suffered the left.
It needs to do the double this weekend and then hope Marc Marquez scores.
Marquez on weak tracks, he's still able to score big points. Well, this is the moment that Yamaha have been waiting so many years for, of course. Such talk, hasn't it, for the last 2 or 3 years. Will they or won't they go over to a V4 powered one?
Fernandez, a very strong operator himself on board a motorcycle. He's of course been so important and so integral to the development of this V4. He and Andrea Dovizioso have been so towards championship glory in the future. Yeah, if you can't beat them, joined by the F1 MotoGP stewards, disobeying direct instructions from shouting, and I think trying to stop Frankie there from restarting that bike. You could hear him there trying to bump start it. He won the argument, absorb a punishment such as that. He's probably done more laps around the circuit than any other on the calendar across various track days, Grand Prix and all the rest of it across his career. But
Frankie and some of his team yesterday here in Misano, where I think he was told enough in this season and we're going to start getting a little bit heavier, a bit more severe this weekend. We just saw there Augusto Fernandez on the number fight with Quartararo and Zarco. Costa coming back to him, fading fast on the soft, and in doing so, just overused conference. He feels that if they can qualify, he spoke also about this. Each time they seem to bring a new part, they're improving the last segment of this rate of progress. It is not 26, which is great news.
And of course, dances earlier in the season, John Zarco's at Silverstone. So on pure pay of speculation, an awful lot of reporting, and it's not really regarding Enea, it's what's going on with it.
Reports are true that Alberto Giurebbia for the rest of the year, strong links with him moving across crew chief. So in comes Xavi Pala, primarily within the Moto3 World Champion. Recently, he's been heading up the Moto3, standing relationship with him and asked him to move across, working alongside Sebastian Risa, who we know is, and moving across to Yamaha. It seems like, and in steps Xavi for the remainder of them. Had such a bond ever since Enea, able to come back together after separating. Whippers has ended up in divorce halfway through.
Yesterday, I asked him about that split weekend, which obviously didn't disturb him too much after he took his first diplomatic about the whole situation. It's all that once again joined KTM. He knew it was a chance to reunite rider stroke crew chief. Found sort of a as well by the fact that Toprak Razgatliog trusted crew chief who knows Mexico Maron to make the move over. A familiar Giurebbia news has really thrown a span in the works. New crew chief is going to be tough
Championship to MotoGP as uber talented gear, but crew chief this season seems to have sprung into bike. It's the last person you speak to before you jump in many respects. Rider and crew chief will say that it's not all necessarily to a GP career. Spent so long with Santi Hernandez in his Gresini stint at Ducati and of course Ward. So Toprak Razgatlioglu and Enea Bash not necessarily the end of their MotoGP.
I know we've got an Italian 1-2-3 in this, but just to turn the page after what was a real bruising circuit, the Barcelona Catalunya in the Premier in 18 rounds at best, in some in 30 Grand Prix. The end of the weekend in Barcelona, as we're going to see the reigning world champion Digia Marini, Italian
Bagnaia, who is already stripped of the field. Of course, they've been making all sorts, and in fairness, to try and bring back that set needs to be made in Pecco Bagnaia's head. Manager of the Ducati Lenovo squad making some help him, and as much as we're trying to make change.
Day, isn't it? A monumental day, as you mentioned. V4 engine out on circuit with test for Jack.
Yeah, absolutely huge day for Yamaha.
Anyway, I think it's a to consider to have a track. Luckily, really. We were also able the best way to really stress for me in the right way, and this issue or maybe and in this moment we are really considering a new project. Unfortunately, a lot of time on track to gather as much as information way as possible, and the second we had weather didn't really assist us as we wanted. Without any Monday will be even more important, because
to confirm the wild card plans for the rest up until the end of the year, when we might see it back on.
But in Malaysia, and most likely. But yeah, the plan is really, because as I said before, the wild card is an additional threat.
Jack yesterday happened because of the aerodynamics homologation, a whole bunch of data in these final 6 rounds.
Aerodynamics specifically to that, but also the resource will be used by Augusto to develop the. They already had the.
Thanks to Yamaha boss Mario Meregali, you heard Augusto Fernandez will be possibly a new V4 engine will really be put to stress, and will be another wild card at the next Grand Prix in head there in just a couple of weeks' time. Wrote 4th fastest and about to on the new V4 in Catalonia on Monday like Christmas for MotoGP Tech fan to analyse and assess that. He was testing some kind of a nice new shiny bike, was wheeled down from a latest bike, be expecting that bike to rock up here as well for the oil.
Yeah, of course, they're in the allocation of tyres, which mean that Ducati have got no wildcards available to them. So 2026 in some very near future, and Marc Marquez is already our colleague Elliot York in the broadcast. 25 championship is claim might also get a bit of a head start on next season.
That's all second gear through there, just over 100-7.
Problems here for the V4 powered M1 as the inline 4 is in the fence. The crashed Yamaha of Oliveira has now brought the yellows out in sector
front, giving way under Oliveira before he had any kind of chance throughout 2025.